Hey guys, the Edge RFC here, and welcome back to my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. This is episode 5, and we are in Spain, the Circuit de Catalunya. Here we go, straight into all my practice programs as normal. Normally on the F1 games, this isn't a track I do particularly well at. This is one I normally struggle at. But I was smashing everything I was doing practice-wise, and just showing you here all my practice programs. We're hitting purple, first sort of try, which was good. Here on the qualifying pace, I think my target was for P15, and as you'll see here, we absolutely smashed that. As we are actually just off that run predicted P7, so very much better than I should have been, or ahead of where I was judged to be. So just running through the end here, the race strategy. I never finished the whole 5 laps. I just do the 3 to get the purple program, and then go back to the garage and that's that. Yeah, that was that really. Just running my practice programs felt good, which I say is strange for me. Around Spain, I don't normally do particularly well around this track. In previous years, I do a lot of sliding off and get a lot of understeer and oversteer in some of the corners. But yeah, in practice, I was feeling good. So as we move out of practice, just getting the resource points in there for that, I will take you into qualifying, and you'll see here my full qualifying lap, as we see just how I got on here around this circuit for this lap. See, good start, plenty of pace there to get away from Vettel, but I'm just going to let the lap play out for a bit, and you can see exactly what goes down. So there you have it, pole position. Very, very unexpected. I say not a track I normally perform well at. Hadn't been doing this well at any track so far, so a massive shock to me. You see here as well, Jack Aitken qualifying down in P13, so just missing out on what would have been the third qualifying session if we ran a proper qualifying. But all in all, a very good qualifying run for the team. And I say a massive shock to myself. I did after that qualifying run bump my difficulty up by 5. I can't remember. I think it was on 75 and I bumped it up to 80, or it was on 70. I bumped it to 75. I can't remember which way. But yeah, I bumped it up, and look at this start here in the race. The AI, for me, they are very poor off the start. They're very slow, just gave me so much time to get myself prepared in for turn 1, and to build myself a lead and control the race. That was the plan. In previous races, had the issues where trying to keep cars behind was okay, but once they got ahead of me, I was struggling. So just seeing how I could do and how long I could hold off in this race, and how long I could stay where I was, essentially, as we move forward here on lap number 2, just coming towards the end here around the final corner. on to start lap number 3. And as you see there, a little nervous look behind as Hamilton is closing me down, and he just set the fastest lap. And you can see him here, he's eyeing me up, he's going for the overtake, he gets in front, but we just swerve back to the inside. He locked up a bit on his brakes, and we maintain P1. So under threat, but managed to hold on and keep the lead, and keep myself in control of the race for now at least. So on now then to lap number 5. It was very much a race of just trying to stay in control, and then, and then seeing how hard I could push myself and how much I could defend the other guys. But as you see here, nearly 3 seconds up on Vettel in second place, as we come across and set the current fastest lap of the race at this point here. And as you see there as well, the pit window is open. So obviously at the end of this lap, you will see me pit. There's not a lot to show in this race. There's not a lot that did happen. As you see here, coming in for that pit stop now. Not a lot did happen in this race. I was on pole, and as you can see from the gap to the other cars, I just wasn't really in any danger. I don't know where this came from. I really don't. I hadn't been performing that well. Okay, a couple of new tracks and things like that along the way, but I hadn't been performing particularly well. Yes, a good result in Holland, but I think that was mainly down to the conditions. So yeah, this was a massive shock to me here as we come out the pits, chasing down Kvyat in P10. Obviously not a realistic P10 because of all the pit stops that have just been made, but chasing down Kvyat, you see as we come up here through the this long right-hander, just getting a good little look at him, trying to work out when to make my move. Tried to go around the outside there, backed up a little bit, just didn't quite feel like I had it. And then as we get to this one here, up this left-hander, just up the inside, bit of contact with the wheels, very aggressive move, and as you come to expect from me already, not the cleanest, but we get the move done up into P10. But as I say, it's still technically P1 because everyone ahead hasn't pitted yet. You see here the time was making up on those cars, and that's with a pit stop. So yeah, the lead I had in this race was just mad. I don't know what happened here and what went so right for me, but it was just a perfect race really for me. As you see, Aitken now into the pits. And as you see here, as we come down the pit straight and everyone's dived in, we are back into P1 as everyone else has dived into the pits. And that was that really. That was all that I had to do in this race. As you'll see now, it was just a case of trying to keep my lead, trying to go faster and make sure I could get maximum points from this race. Because at this point here, I wasn't really gonna relinquish the lead. I could have just tried to look after the car and make sure I get home. But I wanted maximum points at this point. I wanted the fastest lap, as you see here. Sebastian Vettel has just set currently the fastest lap. But at this point here, I've got such a big lead. My car is performing so much better than it has been, so much better than it probably should be, that I just decided, well, I'm gonna try and push it to the limits and get that fastest lap to go with the race win. So that is what I was doing, was just throwing the car around as best I could to get that done. I'm not the quickest of racers anyway, but as quick as I could do it, that's what I was doing. As you see, come across here with another fastest lap, taking that back away from Vettel and making sure I do keep that honour at this point in time. As we move round here towards the next stage of the race, we're going to be into lap 16. So yeah, again, very end of the race now. Just a case of, say, holding on, making sure I can hold that fastest lap as well. You see 6 seconds up on Vettel, 11 seconds up on Bottas, nearly 12 seconds. So honestly, as I said already, I don't know where this came from. I don't know how the car performed as well as this, but it did, and it all just came together. As you know, so it set another pass lap there, beat my own lap as we move now on to the final lap of the race. I'm just going to let this final lap play itself out as Verstappen goes out of the session on the last lap of the race. Very unlucky for him. I'm not 100% sure where he was, so I don't know how much he's lost out on, but yeah, a big shame for him. I'm sure that would have been a big disappointment for Red Bull. The biggest disappointment for all of those, some big three teams is that my car's ahead of them. You see here me throwing the car around, trying to get as quick as I can. We were purple in the first sector. Just trying to squeeze everything I could out of the car at this point, just to see if I could beat that fastest lap again. I didn't want anyone else behind me setting it. Purple again through sector 2. As I say, I didn't want any of the guys behind me to hit me on the last lap, but as you see they're really poor into the grass, and that is going to eat away a lot of time. And then over the curb there, not good at all. Definitely on for the fastest lap with the purple first and second sector, but the third sector was horrendous from me here. Very, very poor. But we crossed the line in P1, our first victory in Formula 1 with our in the My Team career mode, and yeah, we did it all. We qualified on pole and led the race from the start. Apart from coming out of the pits and about a 3-second point where Hamilton got ahead of us, we led that race from start to finish. So I feel like I did really well there to do that. I did then bump the difficulty up again after this race because I didn't think it should have been that easy. But at this point here, I'm just going to enjoy the celebrations and let them play out.
Lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
To an incredible Grand Prix weekend. Our top 3 finishers should be incredibly happy with what they were able to achieve out there today.
So there you have it. Say on pole there. Vettel second, Bottas third, Leclerc, Albon, Hamilton, Magnussen, Grosjean, Norris, Ocon, Sainz, Giovinazzi. Aitken finished in 13th, which was where he started, and Perez in P14 as well. So no points for Jack Aitken in this race, but good enough result. I know he qualified in 13th, but good enough result there, just outside the points for him, and obviously my win and fastest lap. So 26 Drivers' Championship points to myself after this race.
Enjoy that. It made it look easy. You took the top points today. Was it a comfortable win?
Yes. Sorry, plain and simply, yes, it was. I never felt like it was going to be, but it definitely was.
Appreciate your time.
So move on to the rivalry breakdown there. Checking every box, which is good for me here. This is absolutely smashing the rivalry there with Latifi. As we so move on to the acclaim screen, see the levels going up there for myself and Aitken. And then the team bonus, the team acclaim level as well, up to level 9. No bonus for that race, but I got a race win, so I'm not that bothered. And then into the standard activity planning after the Grand Prix weekend, getting the most we can out of everything, and making sure that we have maximising our time in terms of getting money, resource points, driver levels, all of that sort of stuff, as high as we can and as quickly as we can. Onto the R&D tree. Not a massive amount of points here, but we will We will add a little upgrade on here to the durability side of the car, making sure our parts can last a bit longer, because as you will have seen, I believe in the last episode, we were already having to change out quite a lot of parts, and we're not that far into the season, so that's not ideal. But yeah, try and get some reliability on that. As we move into the sponsor screen here, one of the sponsors had expired, so or the sponsor contracts, so we're going in there, making sure we're all signed up and everything's still good, so we can maximise the money coming in. And then on to the factories. With a bit of money in the bank, we are going to upgrade the power facility, get the build time upgrade put on there, so that obviously we can get the parts built quicker for the power side of things there. But that is that, and that will wrap us up, and I will be back in the next one.